going to say this very, very slowly for new listeners. I don't mean this in a condescending way, but the denial has to end right now. You can go to Google and type IMF World Bank documents leaked 2002. The BBC covered part of them. Then they told Greg Palast, we're going to fire you if you do any more pieces on this, basically. He got pulled back from it. Former top federal fraud investigator that went to work for the BBC. And in it, the IMF and World Bank were planning the takedown of the West next. They'd already taken over the third world, Latin America, Africa, and much of Asia through fraud. And it talked about how they would then depress economies, have the country sign on to debt, do bailout after bailout that actually puts the countries in debt to the mega banks when the companies themselves are being bailed out by the countries. And the public is so illiterate is the proper word, total illiteracy when it comes to basic financial systems. But even when you tune into CNBC, that's all within the paradigm of the controlled economic order. So that itself is not how it really operates. And now they're talking about Greece could face social unrest soon. Wilbur Ross warns. Who could have thought that? Then they use the civil unrest. This is in the IMF World Bank documents that got leaked. BBC. They then use that unrest that goes on for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, to then have a savior run for office who then comes in and brings in even more control. And they'll do this over and over and over again, consolidating power to keep the people poor. The European Union on Friday proposed, you can pull this up, a VAT tax on all tourism in Greece to, quote, pay off their debts. Now, they've already raised taxes so much that it's making it prohibitive to go to Greece because there's so many taxes on hotels, transportation, and tourist-related institutions. And the government itself said, why would you want that as part of your EU system when you know that will stall our economy? Well, remember what they did 5 years ago in Greece, and 3 years ago in Greece, and 2 years ago. Remember? They had them raise all these other taxes that didn't help the country, caused tax revenues to go down, so their debts even got bigger. They know that. Kennedy cut taxes by 50% in the general tax bracket. Tax receipts did what the next year? Went up over 40%. What happened in the second year? They doubled. They blew his head off at that point. Greece debt talks, EU chief betrayed. And they just found the Reuters article. Go back to that for TV viewers. Reuters, Greeks draw the line. Greek tourism draws line in the sand over tax hikes. Creditors want Greece to pass a VAT, value-added tax. They also want to scrap tax breaks for island resorts. Critics say the hikes are counterproductive. Really? Tourists warned over Greek bank troubles. Let me read to you what they're doing in Greece. Now, you probably heard this here, if you're a regular listener, 5,000 times. I'm not exaggerating. I'm sorry. This is for new listeners. We're trying to save the country and the world. The bank runs have started. They're not letting people get their money out. They're calling for banning cash. Everything we told you, because it's an exact plan. Greg Palast wasn't allowed to tell more in his first BBC report. He came here no less than 10 times. I put it in my book. Descent into Tyranny. You can go read it. It's at prisonplanet.tv, the ebook, when you're a member. But the book, if you want, it's free online too. Whatever. It's just all in one place at prisonplanet.tv. The whole plan to bring down economies. In fact, can somebody find me? I didn't think to do this. It's sold out years ago, but Descent into Tyranny, I think it's in that bookshelf back there. Flip it to the end. Near the end's the warning and the transcripts and the documents on the global plan to bring down the 3 mega regions and to bring in a world government. Remember, this is before 2008. The book was published in 2002. Now, here are the headlines. The world is defenseless against the final... That was a Freudian slip. The world is defenseless against the next financial crisis, warns Bank of International Settlements. London Telegraph. Paul Joseph Watson. Greek crisis. EU showed contempt for allowing Greeks to vote on referendum. The Europe group has disdain for any elections. Greece will collapse this week and people will be terrified. Jim Rogers, smart guy. Greece closes banks ahead of referendum. A default in the debt payment this week could mean Greece will leave the Eurozone. UPI. Global market slump as Greece closes banks and debts talks falter. Greece's debt crisis sends stocks falling around the globe. And then, of course, my book, Descent into Tyranny, I'm going to try to find the section from 13 years ago where we lay it all out.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.